Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I have but the same special guest as before. You guys know him. He's my boo.
Really? So did you update your people and let them know that Ellie is still in the land of the
Of
living?
the living. I apologize for the last live, which was not last week, but the week before. We stopped the live, abruptly because of baby screams, and it was just because Yana was being mean to her. So she stood outside the door screaming because Yana was being mean to her. So that's basically all that was.
Yeah.
So praise God that's all it was, though. So
It sounded a lot scarier than
Yeah.
that, and then I had to log off really quick because we didn't know what was
I
happening.
didn't know that he was gonna log off though. I thought I was gonna just kind of handle it in secret and then come back. And he's coming back there. I'm like, what happened? You're like, I got off.
Yeah, I had to. Yeah, it was falling apart, so I had to go out and see about your cheering. But we got a few days free.
Yes, this week we are celebrating our 14th year of marriage.
Yes.
Woohoo!
14 years. What, 20 years?
20 years
It'd be
together.
No, it's already 20 years. No, what was it?
Yeah.
September, October.
Would have been. Well.
Did we meet in September, October?
No, we met in August.
We met in August?
We met in August, beginning of school.
Wow, okay. All right. So
But we didn't make it official until October.
All right, got you.
Yeah.
Sorry, so 20 years, 20 years of knowing one another and, well, dating. Yeah, 20 years of dating, 14 years of marriage. There you go. That's how we say that. All right, so welcome to any of my peoples who received the post or who saw the post and decided to join in.
Welcome.
Welcome to all of you.
As you can see from the title, we're going to be talking a little bit about
Marriage.
love and marriage.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like that? I'm not sure how many people on here are married, but I'm sure a lot of people probably want to be married if they're not.
So yeah, if you are married and you're watching this live or in the replay, drop a thumbs up in the comments, or you can simply like the video. One of those things, let us know that you're actually married,
Yeah.
or if you hope to be married. What's the little emoji? The little fingers crossed emoji.
There's a fingers crossed emoji?
Yeah, you don't use your emojis
Yeah, I
enough.
don't. Sorry.
I'm thinking there's a fingers crossed. Let me fact check. I'm almost positive that there's a finger. Yeah, there's a finger cross emoji somewhere. I'm almost positive. So,
Sorry.
yeah. Yeah, it is one. I told you. See, so drop the finger. There it is. Charles, what's up, man? Miss
Happy
B.
anniversary to you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Woohoo!
Yeah, so we got some married peoples in the building.
Yes. I guess, would we be considered, we're not newly married. We're not like 30 years there yet.
No, we in there.
But we're like in that mid section. Because I don't think we're at the end of our marriage. So that, you know how...
No, not at all.
Listen. You know how when someone says you're old, depending on perspective, what that pastor said, he was like, you're old if you know you're going to live, if you're 20 years old and you're only going to live to 25, then you're considered kind of old. But if you're 50 and you're going to live to 100, you're still kind of young. I was talking about that in marriage.
Oh, yeah, you got to specify.
Okay.
Folks be on here. They said it at the end of their marriage.
No,
I heard it.
I'm saying
They'll edit that little clip out and put it on YouTube or something like that. So you got to be careful.
Yeah. That's what I meant. I don't mean that we're at the end of our marriage.
So we got like 3 different points that we kind of want to talk about.
Yeah.
In this live for the people who are interested. And also I forgot to mention this. If you are married, drop how many years. I want to know like what's the demographic. What's the range? 10 years. There you go, Charles. 10 years married. 20 years.
10 years good and married.
Yes, sir. He said good and married. Good and married. Yeah, 20 years. Sure enough. Sure enough, married. Yeah, I got you. I hear you loud and
So
clear.
we're like in between the good and married and show enough.
Yeah, yeah, hear you loud and clear.
How many years have you guys been married? I wonder.
I think you're saying 10 years. So know your sound says 20. Wow, Stephen, 20 years? That's crazy.
Congratulations on 20 years.
Yeah.
I have to say congratulations if y'all last 5 years in this world we live in nowadays.
Them first 2 to 5, they can take you clean up out of
Yeah.
here when you get married. That first 2 to 5 years. So 3 of the
a lot
points.
of people don't make it. A lot of people don't push through and make it to even get there. So if you can make it to 5, 10,
and that takes you to your point 1.
what's my point?
Make love the priority.
Yeah.
If y'all want to write that down, make love. But y'all vets, y'all probably ain't got to write that down. Y'all good to go. But for the new people, the folks who are thinking about getting married, make number 1, make love the priority. You want to elaborate?
Do you know, like, in this pandemic right now, there is more divorce during this pandemic because people are forced to be together. They're forced to, because, they get married and they love each other, and then they have their separate lives in a sense where they go to work, that person do their thing, and then they meet in the middle every once in a while, with dinner maybe, with the kids, whatever. But now you're forced to be with this person that you're not familiar with anymore because they've grown to a place, whether it be from their job or whatever, just growing in life, and then you realize you don't like them anymore. Is that what it is, maybe?
I think it goes. You said they get married and they love one another. Love is a word that's it's not changing, so to speak, but it's a word. It's an action word.
It's not a lovey-dovey thing.
No, it's like people use
It's not a feeling.
the world's concept of love, and I think that's why, in many cases, that marriage doesn't work. Love, number 1, is a commitment to, I'm in here for the long haul. Like whatever
it's
happens,
work.
It's work.
It's work.
And I think people go into it with this, really messed up idea of what love is, and they don't work towards loving that person. It's kind of like, we both are believers, and anybody that follows me, I'm not bashful about my faith at all, but it's kind of like being a believer, a born again believer. Every day you get up and you work towards being the better version of who you are. Every single day, and you have to be doing that same thing as a husband, as a wife, as a parent, constantly working towards who you are, because each day gonna present you with something different. I'm subject to come in here and say something that I didn't mean anything by, and I offend her by it. So it's like, wait, we've been together for how long, and I offended you by saying that? Like, for real? And vice versa. Same thing happens with me. She do or say something, and I might take offense to it or whatever the case. So all that being said, we have to constantly be working towards loving one another, like being patient, being kind, being not easily angered by something that happened. And that's work. It takes a lot of work because it sounds good. It even reads good when you read it in the Bible. But when you trying to,
it's hard.
Yeah, when you trying to actually apply that thing, love is a lot of work. But I think making that love the priority over your own emotions, over your own self-centeredness. I've told several people, I said, I truly believe that the reason, outside of like domestic abuse and stuff like that happens within the home, or, people, falling out of covenant by sleeping around, all these other things. I think one of the biggest things, in my opinion, from different people that we've met that may have gotten divorced, a lot of it came down, in my opinion, to selfishness. In my opinion, a lot of it came down, and please don't take any offense to what I'm saying, but I think a lot of it came down to selfishness, because if you've been married over 5 years, you've entertained the thought of like, you know what, I'm done. Just keeping it 100. If you've been married over 5 years, you've entertained that thought at some point in the marriage. So it's not easy, and it's not like certain people are exempt and other people are like, we're sweet. No, it's like that has come to everybody, but it's like, what is that perseverance thing that happens for you to say, you know what, I'm gonna keep this thing going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay in here. I'm gonna push because when I made this, like for me, when I put this ring on, I told her when we got married, I said, I ain't doing this but once. Lord willing. I'm hoping that, he don't pull my card or nothing like that. But I'm like, I had no intentions on, I'm gonna try this out and see how this. No, I didn't go into it. And I know a lot of people go in marriage with that idea. I'm gonna try this out and see what happens.
If it don't work, there's always a way out. They have that cushion to think that if I don't like what I'm feeling, because everything is about your feelings. If you don't feel like this person understands you, don't feel like this person care or feel. And feelings, we know that feelings are always legit. Because you can feel happy one moment, in the same day, feel mad the next moment, and then feel sad, and then feel happy again. So we know our feelings are like this.
You can trust your feelings all day.
They're very unstable.
Yeah.
So for you to feel like this one moment, and I've heard a lot of people who have divorced, they're like, but I still love them. So why couldn't you work it out? Why couldn't you put in the fight? And that's really what marriage is fighting for what you really want. It's about fighting. Never giving up and fighting for what you really want and who you love.
And that has to go across the board. It can't just be one person, because I've seen situations where one of the partners were actually fighting for what they wanted, but the key word is like want. The other partner was fighting for what they wanted too, and they didn't want to be married.
Yeah.
They wanted to be single. They wanted their freedom. They wanted something different, or whatever the case may be. They wanted something else, and you have to make sure that you're always coming back to the table with the wants and the needs, and making sure that those are all always kind of at the forefront. I remember a long time ago, you and I, this was when I think I was working at the church, and we had just, we was fresh in the kids. I don't think Ellie had got here yet. I don't think so.
I'm not sure you.
Okay. Anyway,
you gotta give me more
All
information.
right. So we were fresh in the marriage. Not fresh in the marriage. I'm sorry. Fresh in the kids.
Parenting.
Fresh in the parenting. I like fresh in the kids.
Okay, fresh in the kids.
We was fresh in the kids, and we was doing our thing in terms of trying to parent the kids, but our little date nights and all that kind of stuff, we weren't having enough time for the date nights and that kind of thing, and so
and not having any support.
Yeah, I everybody that we're related to lives
in a different state.
Yeah, in a different state, so we didn't really have a lot of support, and it was cool. We ain't just trying to put our kids off on anybody anyway, but we didn't have a lot of time for ourselves, and I'm always working and doing stuff, so I didn't really devote a lot of time to us, because when I got through with my other job, I'd come home and work on the business, and so it was all about that. And we had the conversation to the point. We had the conversation. You were telling me, I just want time. I just want some quality time with you. It don't have to be elaborate. We don't have to go out to the movies. We don't have to do all of this stuff. I just want
time with you.
Personal time.
So we knew that because beforehand we were reading a book, The 5 Love Language, which is
Gary Chapman.
Really, really good book. So we were reading that book early part of our marriage, and we knew that what our primary love language was. His is words of affirmation, and mine was quality time. And so trying to make sure that we give our partner what they desire, so they know that we feel or have the feeling that the other person is showing them love. So of course mine was quality time. And so what we do?
We started doing Redbox. Boy, I tore that Redbox up. I might as well have had my own Redbox sitting outside.
There were times where it would be like anniversary or whatever, and we had nobody to watch the baby, because we had babies. We didn't have like kids like we have now. We had babies, and we'll put the kids to bed, and we'll have a candlelight dinner. He'll go out, and I wouldn't cook these days. He would go out and pick out some food, like get it takeout, and we'll set it up on the table, and we'll have a candlelight dinner, that kind of thing, and then like go to the living room for our movie night, and we would spend all night like just enjoying each other. That was like our time. That's what we did for like years.
Yeah, we still do it now. I mean, we
Yeah.
do our own. We ain't red boxing.
No,
it no more.
obviously.
We're not red boxing no more, but we still do our own version of it. And so, in other words, we found a workaround. So, because in my mind, I was thinking as a husband, all right, I gotta do this and do that and get to the point, stopping point, so to speak, so that I can find time to go to the movies or do this or do that, and just with other people's schedules that wasn't working out.
Yeah.
So we were always putting off. Well, me personally, I was always putting off our happiness for a day when it was convenient.
Yeah.
And the reality was it was never going to be convenient. So we kept pushing off. Well, we'll do this or we'll
One
do that.
day.
Yeah, one day
One
we'll
day.
do this, and
We'll be
maybe
able to do this
we
and
get
we'll
somebody. Or our things were, I would always try to take you somewhere or the family somewhere for your birthday. So in my mind, it's like, well, I know we can really have a good time.
That's once a year, though.
But you know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I'm
Like
thinking, well,
once
this
a year.
would be big, and it's like,
Well, that's what we used to do before we had kids. On
Yeah.
my birthday, you would always take me somewhere.
yeah, it was like it would always be a trip, a vacation. We always her birthday is in May, so we would always plan our vacation. We still do plan our vacation around her birthday, and so we would do some celebrating, do some whatever fun stuff
Yeah.
around that time. So it would be like a big deal. So we would always kind of delay the gratification or whatever until that time, but that wouldn't work.
No.
And you was getting like with them kids being a 24/7 mom.
Yeah.
You were getting more
Because
and
I
more.
would stay at home. I had my own business. Once my job shut down, you were like, you know what, I'll support you. You can do your own business. And so I started doing my own business at home. So we were at home for the most part, outside of you leaving and going to church, whatever. And up till I had kids. And then when I had kids, I was trying to balance those things. So it was just my personal business and the kids all day, every day.
Yeah.
And then then it was like, okay, everybody eat and everybody go to bed, and that was it. And I was like, I'm missing something here.
Yeah. It was just the same thing every
Yeah.
single day.
But it got better. Like, we figured out, and that's basically what it is. You figure out what your need is and what you desire out of your relationship and try to make it work for you with the situations that you have.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The second point, commitment. Commitment. You want to kick it off?
Commitment.
What does commitment mean to you? Before that, there's somebody
Oh.
that commented, broccoli Noyb casserole. All right. Happy anniversary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Hope all is well with you and your family. All is well here.
Yes.
Same with you. Is that broccoli?
I've never seen broccoli in a OYB casserole's name before.
Broccoli casserole. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'm sure that's not your name, but we're gonna ride with it because that's what we see in the
I'm just
chat.
gonna say broccoli.
Yeah, broccoli. So
Broccoli.
Just for short.
Just to
shorten
shorten it up.
Broccoli. You know what I'm saying? But what does commitment look like, or what does it mean for you? Do we need to change that battery? You think it'll make it?
Yeah, we got some time.
Okay.
Commitment. Basically, for me, it means doing what you say you were gonna do, and like, if you say that you wanted to do something, it's in a sense being about your word, because you made this commitment when you first started, when you put the rings on. You said you made these vows, that's what they call it. You do these vows and you say, I would do this for better or for worse. And this is what you're saying. So for me, commitment is being about what you said you was going to uphold.
That's good.
And what is it for you?
I mean, that's pretty much spot on for the most part. I like the part where you said being about what you said you were going to do. And you know me, the biggest thing, I think, in the last 5 to 10 years for me, as I've really been on this whole integrity thing, keeping your word. Like, not that I wasn't doing it beforehand, but I think I wasn't as intentional about paying attention to I kept my word, but it wasn't as much of a big deal to me as it is now. And right now, the whole keeping your word thing, just like, yes, let your yes be yes, let your no be no. And we know there's stuff that happens in between. man, we all mess up from time. We all miss the ball. We miss the bus from time to time. But yeah, the integrity thing for me, you know what I'm saying? Like
I don't know.
you ain't never missed the bus when you were growing up. You woke up late.
I don't think
You was
so.
very studious, so you probably never missed the bus. But anyway, to the point. We were all down the rabbit hole trying to figure out what the bus talk. Anyway, so the integrity piece for me is super key, and figuring out ways to fight off the thing that wants to make you mess up your commitment. The thing that comes up that makes you make excuses and say, you know what, not gonna do it. Kind of like something as simple as saying, all right, we're gonna have a movie night tonight. And I start doing some work and I don't get finished with the work in time. It's easy to say, hey, let's do it tomorrow. Let's put this off to tomorrow. Something that simple, harmless. You understand, hey, you're trying to make money. We're trying to get this work done. But at the same time, that one particular event doesn't necessarily cause us to fall apart. But if I start to make that a habit, to saying, you know what?
Let's do it later.
Let's do it later. And tomorrow is
later never comes.
Later never comes. So now your trust in me starts to slowly go down.
Dwindle.
Yeah, and same thing with the kids is like something that, and just being transparent, I've been struggling with this because we got this thing we do with the kids called quality time. Quality time. You look like you've been struggling too. So
I guess this is where I struggle with. I am with the kids literally 24/7. I am with you during school. When school is over,
you want a break.
I kind of want me time, you know.
And I'm
my me time sometimes is cooking and whatever. And they'll come and say, "Mom, can we have quality time?" I'm like, "I am cooking dinner." Yeah. And so what we have done lately is I'll let them help me in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm like, go wash your hands, and they'll wash their hands. I'm like, now go do it again.
But for me, by the time I finish up in the studio and I come over here, it's time for them it's time for everybody to eat and go to bed. So oftentimes, well, with the exception of the last couple of weeks, we've been doing more intentional quality time.
Yeah, you come up here.
Yeah, but beforehand, like I've been struggling with the whole thing, and it's not because I'm not trying. This is the point I'm trying to get to. It wasn't because I'm trying to push them off and not trying to make time for them. It's like I'm in my mind, I'm trying to do all this other stuff, and I'm trying to fix this, and I'm trying to finish that, and I got this project.
And the thing is, they don't care about that.
They do not care. And
I get it. I understand the point of view because I am there too. I'm like, okay, I got to do this. I got to finish this. I got to do that. I got to make sure I got to make sure I wash these clothes so they can have something to wear. I got to make sure that I have to go get this. And Daddy told me to go and edit this video and go do this and go do that. And so it's like, and I'm finally in the kitchen like, okay, this is the final lap. I'm almost got these kids in the bed, you know, and they're like, yeah, well, we want to do something with you.
Yeah.
And you feel good after they want to do something with you because that's always great. But you like, I'm trying to get stuff done. And because you can easily get caught up there. I go in Yana's room and she cooks her food for me, her plastic food, and she's very loud. And then she takes forever to do it.
I'm like, Yana, dude, are we really cooking this chicken right now?
No. Then, because she'll come up there. This is what she does. I come up there, and she doesn't just feed me. That's when she has to feed all her babies too. So she's cooking a meal for that baby and that baby.
I don't get that. You get the special treatment. I don't get that.
Oh,
she just goes straight to me and Buddy. When me and Buddy come in, we get our food and
y'all out.
We be out. So,
I have to burp her baby and I help feed.
You getting all that other stuff.
I guess that's the whole point. She wants me to be in her. She calls it her house. And so, and I do enjoy spending that time with her. But I'm like, okay, now I'm 30 minutes behind on my schedule.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm kind of try to stay organized, but it's like those times that 30 minutes doesn't mean anything. Okay, you're 30 minutes behind. So what? I spend some time with my child, whether it's you know, Buddy don't really come for me for quality time unless it's right out on the 4-wheeler.
Okay.
He don't really say, hey, it's something outside that he wants to do outside.
Yeah.
But just spending those time with them is what they desire. That's what they're gonna remember. It's great that you cook food for them. It's great that you school them, but they don't care about that.
And it's like what Stephen said there. It's that compound interest that adds up, and it's also in the negative sense that compound interest that keeps adding up of you not keeping your word to them. And so that's why I'm like, that's been the struggle for me, because I think throughout our fights and stuff over the years, I've tried to make your time a priority just to avoid, not to say I'm trying to avoid an argument, but I understand over time that that's what you want. Meaning, like, we've gotten into arguments before.
Yeah.
But I'm saying,
but that's
I know
part of prioritizing your,
the investment.
The investment with me.
Yeah, and so I know that that's what you want. But in the area of the kids, it's like, for me, it's been easier to just, again, 100% transparency. It's been easier to put them on the back burner and, like, I'll do it later. And I don't mean to do it, but I think that's what happens in a lot of people's marriages. They don't mean to put their significant other on the back burner. They don't necessarily mean for things to go downhill. But again, going back to what Stephen said, is that compound interest over time of you making this decision, choosing something else over your partner or your wife or your husband, whatever, making those decisions that cost you. Little by little, you're eroding away at that relationship. And then when you're ready, it's like the partner's like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm straight. I'm doing something else now.
So many cracks in the foundation. It's not stable anymore.
It's not stable, and you didn't even realize it because you never stopped to question. I thank God, and it ain't because of my goodness, but I thank God that we would actually sit down and have those talks and try to find out. And we were actually doing that in college, with the those dating devotionals. We was doing that even then, trying to figure this thing out, because nobody has.
I didn't know what I was doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know how to be a girlfriend at all. He was like my first boyfriend, and I was like, I don't know how these rules go. I don't know what I'm doing. I see him with his boys over there in the cafeteria, and I would be like, oh, okay, he's with his boys. Let me go sit over there. Is she mad at you? I'm saying, like, no, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it did. Like, wait, she gonna sit over there? Like, I'm over here.
I didn't know. You were over there with them. Was I supposed to just hang out with you and your boys?
Yeah, that was.
So I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I would say there's no instructional book, but there are books out there for marriage. But you just...
It's not one size fits all.
No, I was about to say, you don't know which one is the one for you and your family.
One thing I wanted to hit on before we move, for the musicians who are watching, from folks that's coming over here from my world. Man, I see so much stuff, and I've been telling you about it lately. I see so much stuff with these guys who make jokes about, being married and stuff to their wife. I ain't gonna say the thing I saw, because people probably know who put it up. But anyway, I see these jokes all the time about being married with musicians, and my thing is like, if you don't want that person, or you don't think that you can be in a commitment with this person, don't waste their time. Don't sign up for something that going back to the whole commitment thing. If you
already made a commitment.
But I'm saying, if you made the commitment and you're not looking to get out, like, do the best that you can to make the most of it. This is the person that you're with now, right? This is the person that you're with. So if they're not going to change, apparently you need to change.
Yeah.
Because I noticed I used to be the big time complainer in the relationship as it concerned us. But once I stop putting all the focus on you, stop complaining about everything I thought you were doing, and start really getting on my whole self-development kick. One of the things I noticed for me, and we've been on this journey, almost 10 years? Once I started really honing in on me and working on personal areas about me that I didn't like, it was like a chain reaction. I noticed her started doing other things in terms of herself. You started working on things that I had been talking about. I don't know if it was directly or indirectly. As a result of me working, I saw you were like doing certain things that I noticed you weren't doing before. Once I kind of got on my routine and I was on it for a minute, kind of different things about like how we start off our day. Mm-hmm. Beforehand, we were just kind of getting up, and just going with the flow.
Yeah.
We know we got to do this, got to do that. But once we started being intentional about how we started our day, I noticed like even when now when I get up, I get the notifications when you read certain things on the Bible or whatever. I notice when I'm over there doing my thing, like getting my day started, I see the notifications that you're reading this devotion, you're on this, and so I see everything that you're doing in terms of.
Are you spying on
I
me?
ain't spying on you. I'm just saying, for whatever reason, Yahoo gives me every notification. Renee Morgan completed a plan, and then it's like, how many plans you?
I do a lot of plans. I do a lot of reading.
She done completed like 4 plans, and I'm still on my one.
This is how I view it. I don't like to give God 5 minutes. I like to make sure. This is how you get 24 hours of the day. I know you sleeping a great percentage of that, but out of your entire day, most people get up and they give God 5 minutes and they're gone. I'm like, no, I want to give him more.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm gonna give anything put any investment in anything, it's gonna be in this moment.
Yeah.
And so if I'm gonna read, and I'm gonna read, and I like to read the Bible. I like how it opens up my mind and see God in a different way, and so that's what I like to do. I'm sorry.
Cool. No. I'm being funny. It's cool because whereas you're doing a lot of devotionals,
I'm doing a lot of.
I might watch like an hour and a half of videos, like of different sermons and stuff from people that I like listening to, or it's something inspirational, whatever, while I'm working out, while I'm getting my day going. So you might read 45 minutes to an hour of just reading. I might read 20-25 minutes or something, but I'm watching and listening to stuff being broken down for another 45 minutes.
Yeah, I do that when I'm cooking. I'll put on a sermon while I'm cooking in the kitchen, and I'll just listen to that. But this is my thing also. My plan has been every year try to finish the Bible. Now I don't always finish the Bible. It may go over, but then once I'm done, I'll go back and I'll read again. So I'll do these devotions that track the like I may do right now I'm in Revelation, so I'm reading the book of Revelations, and then I'll just go Old Testament, New Testament.
Carrie said she gets your notifications too, so so it's a motivator. So Carrie, you see what I'm going through here. So I'm sitting here thinking, man, I ain't even read my Bible by the time I seen her 4 notifications. Like, and then the thing that get me with hers, Carrie, is she like,
don't talk about me.
I ain't talking about. I'm saying like Renee Morgan just completed this plan. I'm like, you just started that plan like 2 days ago. So I'm.
Well, if it's a short little devotion, I go to the next day.
She'll read through the whole devotion like what, in a day or 2 days?
No, it depends on if it's like a short one. It depends on if I feel like, oh, okay, I just need more. I'll go read the next day. I'm sorry.
I'm being funny. So you had we missed. Charles says honoring your word is so important, especially in marriage. I've learned that trust is measured by commitment. That's really good, man. That's really good. Yeah. It definitely is, because it's hard to get that trust back if you haven't been consistently keeping your word in that area. To what we were saying.
Yeah.
To what we were saying earlier. So that's definitely.
I think one of the biggest things, because I'm going to be transparent since he's been transparent.
I'm always transparent.
I think I said one time on this live to my people. I know Jermaine has his people on here today, but on my people, I have talked about our marriage, and I've talked about how we started, and I talked how the first couple of years of our marriage were terrible. They were terrible. It went back to that whole thing. I didn't know how to be a girlfriend. Now I'm a wife, and I don't know what I'm doing. I literally don't know what I'm doing. Because I guess I shouldn't say that, put up my family like that. But I didn't see how to be a wife growing up. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And so I always was trying to leave. When I felt like because he was talking about how he complained a lot about the things that he expected me to do.
Let me interject real quick.
What the?
This is real quick. Because you done said, I don't know what I'm doing. You're doing an excellent job as a wife and as a mother.
Oh, thank you.
Just FYI. Don't none of us know what we're doing. Don't nobody got
well,
to figure
it was
out.
For me. I was really like panicking.
I know what you're trying to say, but I ain't gonna let you just keep speeding past and saying that.
Still don't really know what I'm doing. By the grace of God, every morning and every night, I ask God, these are your kids. You need to help me figure out how to be a better mom. help me be a better wife. You know, that's my prayer all the time, because I'm not gonna act like I know what I'm doing, because I don't. That's where I'm at. You know, that's why I said, and not that I'm not saying I'm not doing my best. I'm just saying I don't know what I'm doing, and if I'm doing great, it's because of him. Yeah. It's not because of me.
I see what you're saying.
So when we first started this marriage, I kept trying to run away, because I was like, he's complaining. I don't know what I'm doing. Why did he choose me? I did not run. He wouldn't let me. This man would stand in front of a door, pull a suitcase out of my hand, all those different things. He was like, we're going to work it out. We're going to figure it out. And I didn't know why he had such a fight in him.
I ain't know you was going to go there with it. I mean, we being transparent.
Yeah. I mean, because
fellas, fight. Y'all got to fight.
It was one of those things, like, and then he would just be like, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. And I didn't feel like I deserved this marriage. I didn't feel, because I didn't have this, I guess now that we're talking about being transparent, I've said this before on my life. Like, I've kind of been transparent.
Y'all ain't said. Today's special ain't said nothing. They ain't told me. I come on here, ain't nobody said nothing.
I kind of like, because I want to be truthful about the struggle. Because I can put on these rainbows and talk about sunshines in a marriage, and somebody is literally on the brink of divorce.
Yeah, and
you need to have somebody that's going to be transparent and say, hey, it sometimes can suck. It did. Mm-hmm. It sucked. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm sitting here like, what did I do? He doesn't love me. I'm always doing something wrong. I had this self-blame because I didn't know what I was doing. I have problems. He has problems. But obviously my problems are bigger than his problems, because he's pointing out all my problems. And it felt like, I'm just going to leave. Maybe he can find somebody better. That was in my mind. And so she said yes. Today's special. It's Portia, by the way.
Okay.
She just, I mean, I just was like, okay, I can't do this. But over time, through these fights that we had, and this man showing me this love that I've never really experienced before. I haven't had this kind of, because growing up in my household, I didn't feel that value. I didn't feel like I mattered that much in the household that I grew up in. And so being in this relationship, this man is not related to me. Why does he care? Why does he fight? Why does he want to do this? He has shown me so much stuff in this marriage that I've never really had growing up, and it was like a shock to me, like the stuff that he would shower me with, and it was very foreign to me. And the more and more he did it, the more and more I started to see this man really loves me. He does not really want me to leave. Even though, on the contrary, he was pointing his fingers at me every time
let me
I did something wrong.
Let me interject there. The funny part about all of that kind of stuff, and it goes back to, this wasn't one of the points.
No.
But being able to learn how to communicate and understand how that person processes, how that person talks. You might not understand completely how that person thinks, but being able to understand their form of communication, I think that used to take us out. And I used to have to try to explain so many times that I'm saying something to you about it because
you wanted me to change it.
I want you to change it, because my nature, to me, if you tell me about something I'm doing wrong,
I want to fix it.
I want to fix it. That's just the way I am. I'm wired that way. If I know I'm doing something wrong and I mess this up, I think I'm a perfectionist by nature. So my very nature, and a man, it's like, so if something broke, I want to fix it. I don't want to just keep riding.
And it's not that I didn't want to fix it.
But it came off
it came off as, gosh, you're feeling him. You know, you're supposed to be this, his helper. You're supposed to be everything, and you're praying, you're talking to God, and then he's got something negative to say.
Yeah.
You know, in my mind, not that I didn't want to fix it, but it made me feel like I messed up again.
Yeah.
And so over time, the more and more we saw, the saying you were saying before about the growth and how if you focus on changing yourself, everything else will work out. And I've said that plenty of times on our other marriage videos on our family channel. If you focus on yourself, stop trying to change the other person. Because I had issues too with you, but I was one of those people who try to keep peace. And just because you don't say anything, one moment's gonna happen when you're gonna spurt all that out.
She would let me have it, and then and even in those moments where you would dump it all on me, even in that, I didn't like the way it was delivered to me, but I was taking bits and pieces of what you said, and I was trying to fix it.
Yeah, I knew that.
Even though it hurt at the time, like the way it was given to me, it's like I'm trying to salvage whatever I can take out of this, take away, because what's the saying? Everything people saying about you isn't always the truth, but everything people are saying about you ain't always a lie.
Yeah.
So it's some truth to everything people are actually saying about you. So you got to figure out how to take the meat and spit out the bones of that. So her presentation, I didn't necessarily care for when she gave it to me, but I'm like, at least I got something to work with. I know that you don't like this, so I can stop doing that. And I know that you told me, hey, I don't like when you do X, Y, and Z. All right, well, now we got something to work with. And now I know, don't do that no more.
I mean, over time, with the grace of God, I was praying like, Lord, I want to be better. I want to be the wife and the woman that he needs in his life. Because I try not to, I don't know if I'm sure you have, but everything that you ever did, even though if I thought it was the weirdest thing ever, or I felt like financially we can't do that, if I felt like you were passionate about it, I always supported you 100%.
You did.
Regardless of whatever it was, because I wanted to make sure that you were the best version of yourself for our kids. And I couldn't do that because I've always heard of the nagging wife. I wanted to make sure I was never the nagging wife because I heard that before. And so when I asked you, was I a nagging wife? And you had to tell them, like, she don't really say anything.
No.
So it was one of those things. I wanted to be there for you. I wanted to always give you the best version of myself in all your adventures that you wanted to do for your career or for the community or for Mississippi or for your family. I was like, okay. I want to do a festival. Okay.
Really? You giving me the...
And did I never complained about it. I want to do a food drive. Okay. I want to do an album. Okay. I want to record a video. Okay. I want to do this. Okay. I want to quit my job. Okay. Everything I've always been there to support. And that's one of the things I will say.
Man, let's quit your job thing sound real bad. Sound real bad. You got to answer more on that because I want to quit my job and fully pursue my business. Because it just say, I want to quit my job, just like, wait, hold. I know there's some people on here watching like, wait, what? Like, no,
I try to be. Now, I have given my permission. This is another thing that I try to do, ladies. Like, I don't, because I know that he is the head of this relationship, I carry his name. And so I know that God's going to judge him according to how everything else flows from the house. So if I feel like something that he is, a decision that he's making, if I feel in my spirit, like gut feeling, like, I don't know about that, I will express it to him in my opinion. I never tell him, don't do this or don't do that or blah, blah, blah. I will say, this is my opinion, but you are ultimately the head, so you just make the decision. I'm just giving you my opinion. And from that, he was always looking for my opinion, and it was like, oh, my opinions are important.
Today's special, Portia says, you're the less ride wife. Like, yeah, she definitely, I mean, I can honestly say that I can come to her, and I always tell you, don't know this, but I've talked to people in private. Maybe George knows this, we've talked before, and I've said stuff like, no matter what idea I present to her, she never shuts down my ideas. And in a marriage, if you are female watching this and you're married, that's so important to a man. And when it comes to stepping outside of the norm, like just, getting a regular 9 to 5, nothing wrong with that. A man need to work. I'm not saying that. But when it comes to a man pursuing a vision or a dream or something that he has that he wants to do, you're the person he looks to. I mean, because most of y'all know y'all already take over anyway in terms of like, once y'all come in, we don't know how to do nothing. No, we don't know how to dress, none of that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm being funny. Anyway, having having your approval, so to speak, of the idea. It's like if I got her in my corner about what it is I'm trying to do, and I know she like ain't like, I don't know, but she's like, go for it. I mean, I'm finna go full in. I'm already that way anyway, but if I know I got her support, I'm good. Like everybody else, I can do it and fail at it, but the fact that I know she supported me, I can go at it with full confidence, and that does something for a man to know that you have your wife's full support for your ideas, and she doesn't look at you, because in your mind you're already doubting yourself anyway about if it's something that forces you to get out of your comfort zone, like me fully pursuing my business, and me like not knowing. I got 12 years that I'm doing. This has been my life for 12 years, and now for me to say, you know what, I gotta do this, and I feel strongly about it, but I'm not sure because this is uncharted territory for me. I've been doing it, but it's always been a side thing. So for me to pursue this fully, I don't know. And then have your wife saying, no, I think it's time, and I think you can do it. Les Brown has a quote that says, sometimes you have to believe in other people's belief in you until your belief kicks in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, when I first stepped out there, that first year for me, it was rough. And oftentimes it was her belief in, you can do this. You can get through this. You know, encouraging me with scripture, because I was reading my devotions. I was doing all that stuff, but I was struggling because I didn't see my own value. I didn't see my own worth. And then having her there to affirm that value and to affirm that worth in the times where I couldn't see it, even more recently to different things that have been happening in the career and in, the different shift that I've taken, and just kind of having her confirmation, it means the world. So women, with your husband, your significant other, you don't know how much weight you carry just by your support, just by your word.
Yeah.
Because we'll go out there and try to pick up a truck and break our back just because you said we can do it, because it's something about having that woman's support, that belief in you that you can actually do something, that gives you that extra edge of strength that you didn't know you had. And then in that matter, like, you don't want to let that person down. Going back to the whole commitment thing, it's like, I don't want to let her down. If she's banking on me, I got all this stuff riding on me, I don't want to let her down.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's going to cause, it's kind of like the going, my men, y'all, it's kind of like the whole going to the grocery store and making one trip in the house. You got like 50 bags trying to come in the house, can't even open the door, but I don't want to make 2 trips out to the car because it's like.
So you bust eggs for that.
I'm saying, but it's that thing, like, I have to show you that I got you.
Yeah.
I have to show you that I got this. I can handle this.
Yeah.
This little task of getting the groceries out of the car, I can do this.
Yeah.
You can count on me. No, you ain't got to come back out to the car. I got all of them, you man.
I think
you know?
I think the other part of it is when I do come to you and I say something, it is because of the time that I have in the morning with God. Mm-hmm. The stuff that comes out of my mouth, because I can be in there with you, because I'm experiencing whatever the issue that you're going through, it affects me too. And if I'm experiencing it, I can have the same feelings and the doubts that you have of, oh gosh, what are we going to do? You just quit your job. But it's the time that I have with God in his presence that I feel like when I do talk to you, I know that it's not coming from me. I feel it, and I'm like, this is what God wants me to say. And whatever you're trying to say, and there are times when he's talking and he's just want to get it off his chest, and I'm like, nope, I need you to stop talking.
I be getting mad. She won't let me vent. I'm
like, I know you want to vent, but the words that you're saying, they have power and they go into work, and I need you to stop talking and listen to me. But no, let me talk.
I'll be wanting to get it out.
I know you do. Our thing is beeping. Hold on 1 second.
Battery is about to die.
You keep talking.
I'm going to read a few of these comments while you're doing that. All right, let's go back up. We missed like 100 comments. So.
Give me a second.
I don't even know where we started. You're going to switch the camera over?
I'm going to switch to subscribe to our channel.
They can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right, so. All right, 17 years. Genesis Enterprises. They've been doing this thing for 17 years. That's crazy. That is crazy. So, Carrie, good morning. If we hadn't already said it, Genesis, I'm a fan of Dr. Miles Monroe. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I probably watched every sermon, and I got several of the books from Dr. Miles. Who else we mentioned? George. He said, "What's going on? Cheering to God." Yes, sir. Genesis Enterprise. I'm definitely. There definitely isn't a script. Okay, you talking about being married? You still figuring this stuff? Listen, we all are trying to figure this stuff out. Genesis said, "Wow, I can relate to this." What she is saying, I wasn't around a successful marriage on a daily basis, so I had to learn as well. Yeah, I was, the product of divorce and a remarriage. Like my biological dad and my mom divorced, but she remarried. My stepdad was awesome with me growing up, and I still have a good relationship, developing a good relationship now with my father. But my stepdad, at the time, he stepped in and was definitely able, and he wasn't perfect, but what I was able to see from him in terms of what he was trying to do, the effort that he put out, it really helped me, I think, in this relationship to have a better idea of what it should look like, even though I didn't have a perfect picture, but having a good idea of what it should look like.
I didn't really have anything. My mom and dad divorced, and they're still divorced. And my mom is still not married. My dad is not married, so I didn't really have anything to go off of at all.
Great people, but the whole marriage thing.
Yeah, and so they divorced when I was 9, and so it was just my mom and my siblings, and I just knew that this is the problem I had too when I was younger. I had this thing when I was in 5th grade. I remember it so clearly. They were saying, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to make sure I'm successful." 5th grade. You remember me telling you this? Mm-hmm. I want to make sure I'm successful, so when my husband leaves me, then we'll have money. The kids will have money. I help support the kids, because I can see the struggle that my mom was having and all that kind of stuff. And it was like, and you see a pattern in your family where you have a couple that's married, and then they have kids, and something happened, and they're divorced. And so you have this constant pattern, and that my mind as a kid thinking, okay, so one day I'm going to get married and then make sure I'm successful enough so when he does leave or we do divorce, that we will be good. Me and my kids will be good. And here I am. I'm not even, I got kids. I'm not working. I'm a stay-at-home mom. So that whole thing is completely different. Granted, I don't have that mindset now. That was when I was a kid. And coming into this marriage and not really knowing what I'm doing, not really, and the idea of leaving seemed like the best option. Because if he's not happy with his purchase, ain't no sense in me sticking around waiting for him to leave me. Let me just help him by leaving first.
And my mind was nowhere even close. And I think we was talking about this earlier, but going back to it, having a good understanding of the way that person communicates and the way that person processes information is always good, because what's that whole 4 agreements we always go to?
The first one that we always go to is never assume.
Don't assume. If you're doing that in your marriage, you're probably costing yourself unnecessary heartache, unnecessary arguments. You're wasting time. You're wasting fun time. You're wasting memories you could be making simply by assuming that a person feels a certain way that they don't feel. Yeah. It's like certain things. I'm normally very good at reading people, except for this one. Like, I've always been good at reading people, and I make it sound like I'm doing some voodoo or something like that. But that's
maybe you weren't. I don't know. You think I would be the first person?
Well, I know God gave me a very keen gift of discernment, so I'm able to quickly discern certain things about people. But I don't know if it's because we're really close. Yeah. That I'm off when it comes to you, because I guess my emotions are involved in it. And with other people, there's no emotion involved in it. Or I ain't gonna say no emotion, but it's not as much emotion involved in it. And so I can oftentimes misread something that you're feeling. But once I started asking questions, because I always pay attention to certain things you do. Like you have little things you do, and I know, all right, if you're doing this, I know it means that. And over years, I've been able to figure that out. But certain things I don't know, and your mind could be somewhere else. But I'm assuming that you're thinking this, and vice versa.
Because of the way my face looks.
The way your face looks, or vice versa, because of something I say, you assume at that time that I wanted you to leave.
Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't that at all. And I'm like, in my mind, it ain't that big. I'm just telling you something I don't like. I don't like when you do X, Y, Z.
I didn't think that you wanted me to leave. That's not, I'm saying eventually.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, oh, what did I do?
I had enough type deal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm like, it ain't even that kind of a problem for me to think that.
I think over the years, what we have realized that most of the issues that we dealt with in this marriage has been because of something that we have dealt with as a child. A lot of the things that we have, the conversation that we had of why you do something, it stems with something else that happened in your life somewhere else, and it hasn't been resolved. So it's always constantly popping up in situations in your current,
That's good, because I think for me, I was talking to somebody concerning marriage. I think when we can, like you're saying, get to the root, because a lot of times what you're lashing out at me or what I'm lashing out at you about
it's not even
it ain't got nothing to do with us. And once you start figuring out what the root of that thing is, oh, you feel this way because that happened to you, or people made you feel this way.
Yeah.
And then you can reassure your spouse that I ain't on that.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think about you that way. I don't even look at you that way. That thought that you have about yourself doesn't even cross my mind when I look at you. It's like that ain't. I'm not on that at all.
Most of the time in marriage, you have to, if you're having some issues in your marriage, most of the time it's going to be mending the brokenness that you didn't even cause. You're just there to help. That's why I feel like if you work on yourself, if you focus on growing yourself, then everything else, like he said, the other person will see the growth that you're trying to make and will want to grow too. There are one or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to want you to stay the same and get mad that you're changing, and they're going to want to, like, no, we were like this, and I want us to stay like this, but, kids don't stay the same. They don't stay babies forever. They grow up and they grow fast. Yeah. So to say, just because you're not a baby anymore don't mean you stop growing. You're supposed to be growing. And if you want each other to grow together, so if you see that person growing and you want to continue to grow and get better too, hopefully that's what you want to do, then you grow together and y'all see the change and you work those problems out, because that's why they're called helpmate. They're supposed to help. They're supposed to be there to help with you think, well, I wasn't even there. Why I got to deal with problems that you had when you was a kid? Why I got to deal with problems you had with your parents? Because you love them.
Yeah.
And if you want a successful marriage, you got to figure out why this person is doing what they're doing, why they're saying the things that they're saying, why they feeling the way they're feeling. And most of the time it's because something ain't got nothing to do with you. You remind them of their daddy and they got daddy's issues. Or you remind them of their mama and they got mama's issues. It's one of the two, or something that happened that didn't have anything to do with their parents that happened to them as a kid that
they're working through. I think the other part to what you're saying, the other reason you want to figure these things out, because it's not enough to say, get to the root of what's causing that problem. If you have kids, or if you're thinking about having kids, if you're not careful, you'll repeat that same thing with your children unknowingly.
Yeah. Because
most of the things we're starting to figure out is like your parents didn't know. Most of them didn't know that they were doing certain things, or that they allowed certain things to happen. They had no clue. They were doing the best they knew how. But certain things, as the child's perception or perspective, they saw it a certain way.
Yeah.
Because like you might have been just focusing on the fact, hey, I got to finish all this food. I ain't got time to deal with you right now.
Yeah.
Or say,
and that now that child thinks, Mama don't want to play with me.
Mama don't want to have anything to do with me. It's like, and if you do enough things around that to reinforce that messed up, because this is a child thinking this, to reinforce that thought, if you do enough things, now that becomes part of their belief system.
That mama don't care about me.
Mama don't care about me, so everything they do now is acting out because I feel like mama don't care anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And the same thing with dad. If dad is not around, if mom and dad separates, whatever the case may be, that child develops a mentality and they develop a belief system
Of abandonment.
and so that's all they know.
Yeah.
So they start having unsuccessful relationships and start you looking at it, I can't find the right person. No, you are afraid that if you connect yourself with the right person, that person's going to leave you.
Because your parents left.
And it was actually the right person. So you think, well,
Yeah.
or I'm going to become too much like my dad. If you had an abusive father and that kind of thing, you have that fear of becoming like them if you were in a serious relationship. So now you avoid relationships altogether and all that kind of thing, instead of just going ahead and taking a chance, not on yourself, because if you're leaning to your own understanding, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
But if you lean to the God that's within you to develop you, and you're dying, Romans 12:2, you're dying to yourself daily and becoming more and more like him, he'll show you the way that you should go. He'll show you the way to treat that woman. You know, he'll show you things that you're doing. He'll start bringing things. I have believe it or not, my grooves and motivation people, I have the tendency to talk harsh just because I tell her all the time, when I grew up, and I wish my brother was here to co-sign this, but when we grew up, like, it's two boys in the house. My mom was not girly at all. Both sides of my family, we didn't get all of that, oh, sweet, you fall, oh, you okay? All that compassion and all that, we didn't get that growing up. We didn't get any of that.
You don't give it.
And so that like has always been a struggle of mine, because I didn't grow up with that thing, like in terms of being, because I grew up with more like, dude, get up, stop acting silly, you know, or something like, man, you all right, you know, get up, you know. They treated us like, I mean, because it was mostly boys.
Yeah. I
So,
mean,
you know what I'm saying? So you didn't get you gonna be we didn't get petted like that. So me having girls and a wife, it's like I have to really, I had to learn, but I still, with my daughters, I'm having to learn to be more compassionate. Whereas my son, I go punch him in the chest or something like that.
you don't punch him in the chest.
I don't punch him in the chest. But I'm saying I have to learn how to be more compassionate, because that's something that I did not grow up with. From my belief system wasn't on that.
Yeah.
So yeah. You got some more comments. You went through everybody's comments.
I don't know where you.
I don't know either. George says, I remember that. And I know this probably 20 minutes ago, George. George says, yep, I remember that. She motivates you to be better. Absolutely, man. She does. Carrie says, I felt that. George says, yes, I don't know what happened. We missed it.
Yeah, that's.
You got to keep up with your comments.
We were talking. A good morning.
Who you speaking to?
Good morning, MJ. How you doing?
Today's special says, God broke that generational curse. Trauma, no matter how small or big, will show up in every area of your life if you don't address it. I completely agree. I agree. Yeah. So the last point, you said you was going to be on here for a few minutes. Longevity. We don't got the cheat code to that.
No. But we're still in it, though.
We're still in it, and we've made it further than a lot of people our age, or a lot of people who started this journey with us around the same time as us. I think we've been pretty much everything we've been talking about is kind of dealing with the longevity. My opinion, matter of fact, you go first.
No, go ahead.
My opinion in that regard of longevity, I think goes back to what we've been talking about, your routine. And I can't say this as a believer, we're trying to leave God out of it, because if we try to take credit for longevity, we're going to fail. Keeping God first in your marriage, and not the cliche, make God first, you know, like literally keeping God first, starting your day off with God, like starting your day off with prayer, starting your day off trying to get into this, because his word is going to show you your areas. Like, she reads a lot of devotionals. I listen, you know, I read my devotion, I read the word, then I'm listening to stuff that breaks down the word for me. I'm listening now to different people like, you know, Dr. Tony Evans. I really like Mike Todd, Pastor Mike Todd. I like a lot of his stuff. I listen to a lot of different sermons and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm listening to a lot of these different things and applying it where it fits my area and seeing myself and seeing how, okay, I need to improve in that area. Because sometimes I might come over here and apologize for something that I did. It's like, wait, that was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Or something that I said or something that came across a wrong way that I know I need to fix. And it's only because I'm constantly trying to work on myself. Those people who have this philosophy, well, that's just the way I am. And I'm always been, and I have people that I know that pride themselves like, I always do that. I got to always have it this way. And it always, like, to me, that's foolish talk. Not to say that you can't be a certain way, like, and have your own identity. But if you're saying this and this is the way you've always been, that means you're also saying, I'm not trying to change anything. This is the way I am. Take it or leave it. And a lot of people going to be like, all right, cool, I'm out. I don't have to take this. And so especially if it's something about your character that's causing hurt or harm to any other person, simply because it's something you feel good about or something that you're comfortable with and you're not willing to make adjustments to help accommodate that person that you could.
Going back to the number one.
Yeah.
Being selfish.
Being selfish. So like being able to make those adjustments daily in yourself, I think that goes back to Stephen's thing about compound interest. Those little small adjustments over time, they compound into something big because I make this little adjustment here. Well, 10 years from now, that's going to serve me because she's going to remember the consistency of things that I did day by day. I got this thing that I do. Fellas, I'm giving y'all my secret. I got this thing I do.
I know what you're going to say.
When I get up in the morning, I get up before her in the morning. I'm up super early when we go to bed. I'm up super early.
He sleeps about 5 hours.
Yeah, literally. So when I get up in the morning before I go to the studio, I kiss her. Half time she out of it.
I'm asleep. And I'll get up in the morning like, did you kiss me this morning?
But it's not it's for her, but it's for me reinforcing my love for her every single day, reinforcing that consistency of making a choice to love my wife every day. The Bible commands us, husband, love your wives. And then it tells the wives to be submissive to your husband. We ain't got time to get in a Bible debate about that. But that is my way of shifting my focus on my wife. Of course, God is the first thing first. But it's me making myself take that. Because it's easy to get up and walk out of the room, go to the studio and do my thing, come back in here. If we hug, we hug. If we don't, we don't. And that's another thing.
We hug.
When we greet each other in the morning, we hug one another.
Yeah.
So we make love the priority. Going back, that's the first one. We make love the priority. And I think the compound interest over time doing that again and again and again and again and again, you reinforce in your mind, I love this person. And that person, you have a track record now when you hit those walls in your relationship and you need to bring up some good that you done. You remember now, I just kissed you this morning when we got up.
Yeah.
We've been doing this and we've been hugging, saying we love each other, not just, all right, good morning, love you. You know what I'm saying? Not just a passive thing, but actually being intentional about it and making it a point to show love to that person every day. I'm going to shout out George and Carrie. I seen George post something the other day about the fact that, they've been together, I think, don't quote me, I think y'all been together like 7 years. I could be completely off. But you were saying that she still sends you love letters. And she I guess that's something that y'all were doing when you started. And you're saying that the fact that, it never gets old because she's still giving you those love letters. So that's one way of keeping something alive that was fresh, when y'all got together. One of the things I love that she does, and she told me about the other day, as you can see,
I straightened my hair.
I love when she straightened her hair.
For our anniversary.
So she did, and she told me, she's like, I know you love this, so I did it for you. It's a simple gesture. My point to that, it's a simple gesture, but that compound interest over time. It's like, I know you're doing something with the intentions of making me happy.
Yeah.
Because you know that I like this, and the fact that you make a point to do it for me, that compound interest over time, it builds the longevity of the relationship.
It's like, if you have a house, people who are homeowners, if you have a house, storms come, things happen to your house. Over time, it's going to have cracks, it's going to have dirt on it, it's going to have The windows is have spider webs all over it. It's gonna need some plumbing done every once in a while. Those little acts are like fixing those little problems, because you can just not fix them and let the house just deteriorate over time, and then one day everything is gonna just fall down. But if you take the time and you go through and say, you know what, let me fix the plumbing, let me fix the roof,
Too soon.
let me
we
had to fix the plumbing in the house.
Since we got here.
It was here before we got here.
Yeah.
Let me clean the shutters. Let me wash the windows. You know, you do those things little by little over the years, your house is going to stay amazing. Mm-hmm. But if you allow the storm to come in, to knock the trees down, if the tree fall on your house, you go, that's not a big of a deal. And then all of a sudden now you have ants coming into your house from the cracks that you made from the tree. Now you have infestation of spiders and ants and all other kind of things. And then you got raccoons in your house because you didn't fix this one problem. That one problem can cause other problems. So it is like the foundation of your house. If you take these steps little by little over time, you don't have to do. That's the thing. It's not about doing one amazing thing one time. It's about doing those tiny little things all the time.
Brick by brick.
To keep that foundation of your house stable.
That's good. Yeah.
Because it needs it. Everything needs maintenance. And this is the maintenance of your marriage. It's just taking those little steps to go through and fix those problems.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good. What was I was reading something today, especially. It was the boy, you better get up and quit all that crying. It was that for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all right. Jenna would be a man. That was
my childhood. Like, me and my brother, we got a running joke, that stuff like that used to happen in our family. Boy, straighten your face up, stop acting stupid. We heard that. So every time we get together and somebody do something, like, he'll look at me and he'll say that. So we bust out laughing because that's something we heard growing up. Like, you ain't finna get boy, clean your face up, stop acting stupid. Like, we just stuff like that. Stephen says, consistency with God in the marriage creates longevity. Only what you do for Christ will last. Come on now, you in the book.
Amen.
So Joyce, yes, wow, that's amazing.
I think he was saying yes to 7 years.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I was right. I couldn't remember. I'm like I said, I see little things, and I might not say anything about them, but I kind of keep them in my mind. Like, especially if it's something that really sticks out to me, I just kind of I package that in the corner. And then even when I see that, George, like, for me, I'm looking at our lives and like, all right, what, like, right now we got, the kids are gone and we got the house to ourselves. We don't know how to act. Man, I've been doing all kind of yard work.
I've been folding clothes and washing clothes.
We don't know how to act. We just having a time over here doing yard work. She was out there helping me.
I was out there cutting when the storm came.
We had a tree
fall, and he wanted me to help him get the tree limb out, and the saw got stuck in the tree.
Yeah, so we just all kind of quality time. We out here.
Lovely.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is what we do when we have no kids.
Right.
Huh?
We don't know what to do anymore. So we don't know how to go vacation or do anything like that. But we're in the biggest thing. All in all, we're enjoying our time together. Yeah. We're enjoying the time, and it doesn't have to be elaborate. We went out and had some fun last night. Sound like we just went to the club or something like that.
We went and had some fun last night. We went to see Respect.
Yeah, we went and seen the movie. But anyway, we having a good time, enjoying one another's company, and having peace. Yeah. Just being, it doesn't have to be a whole bunch of elaborate stuff. Yeah. But I'm saying all that. I was looking at the whole thing about the letters and saying, all right, what else can I do because you see couples doing something that challenges you, all right? Not that I'm trying to be in competition, but like, all right, what can we do? Or what's the thing that we do that we can improve upon? What's something that I might be slacking on that I can improve upon? I don't know what it is yet. I'm sure I'm going to find it. But I'm saying, like, when you guys post stuff like that, it's encouraging to us to see that, because I love seeing married couples that still love one another. Yeah. Couples specifically, no disrespect to nobody else, but couples that look like us, loving one another, I love seeing that. Yeah. Because growing up,
you didn't see a lot of it.
You didn't see a lot of it.
It was like the blue the blue moon.
Yeah.
I was thinking of something. Nothing came to me.
George said that's definitely a longevity move. House to yourself and y'all cutting grass. Listen.
I wasn't out there cutting grass.
I am.
I was out there yesterday because he cut grass today. I was out there helping you dump those tree
She
limbs.
was. So we're riding around.
The house, the property,
Picking up
limbs.
like I'm having to cut trees down. It's like hanging too low while I'm trying to cut the yard, and so she's riding around out there with me, helping me get the stuff up, and so we,
trailer.
like that's quality time.
And he was helping me learn how to back the trailer up on a 4-wheeler, which I don't know how to do yet.
Yeah, she's struggling. Y'all pray for her.
I need
pray her strength.
I feel like Jonathan will probably learn how to do it before I do it.
She's trying to figure out how to bag a short trailer, and so that's just.
I kept what is it called?
Jackknifing the trailer.
Jackknifing it.
And so we see some good quality time right here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't get this everywhere. Joker's trying to be out on yachts and doing all that. You need to show your wife how to bag a trailer.
He wanted to go out there. I'm like, babe, I straightened my hair. I'm not going to go.
I did want to go get on the water yesterday.
I'm like,
She didn't want to go. She didn't want to go do no jet skiing.
I just literally straightened my hair 2 days ago.
It wasn't a big thing. Like I wasn't just dying to do it, so I'm good with that. All right. So who's this? Gardner MJ says, such a blessing. Happy anniversary.
Thank you, MJ.
Today's special. In general, people aren't always that thoughtful or considerate, so you do have to be intentional about it in a relationship. Absolutely, you do. I do too. I love seeing couples love each other.
Yes, and it hurts my heart when I find out one of them is parting ways. It's like, no. It's like, come on, black people.
Well, we seen you did a photo shoot last week of my brother and his family did a photo shoot, and you loved every minute.
I was just like, we did some individuals of her, and he was sitting behind me like, oh man, just beautiful. I was like, oh, it's so sweet.
And they've been married
been
almost 20 years. I think, and it's coming up on year 20 for them this month.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've been married almost 20 years. So to see a couple that's been together that long, and they still look at each other like they want each other, like they are still pleased, like you said earlier, still pleased with their purchase. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't. That's a rare find nowadays. People are so. I think in this culture that we live in, people are so self-centered, and so. About me, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. Now, I've even seen women over the years who talk their husband down. I don't like the running joke where that whole thing about women try to make their husband look stupid, and it's like a running joke. You see it all the time over TV.
Oh, movies.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Like their husband is slow.
Yeah, like he don't that doesn't shine make you look smarter or whatever the case may be, and he needs. Granted, we all have our moments that we don't know where stuff is. Like I put my phone somewhere and I don't know where it's at, or you don't know where your phone at because you don't want to lose.
Okay. Yes, I do not know where my phone is.
Neither here nor there. My point being is the fact that we all have our moments. But I was reading something. I think it was in this devotional the other day, where you should not try to make fun of your spouse in front of people because you think it's funny. That those little things like that can erode away at the relationship when you get in front of your family or
it's
something like that.
Termites in the house.
Yeah.
That's
like So it's harmless. It's like that little coarse joking and all that kind of stuff. It's harmless fun, but if you're the only one that's laughing in y'all's relationship, it's something that she might go along with for a while, but you're eating away at the foundation. What you should do, rather than trying to find an opportunity to make fun of your spouse in front of people, find something about your spouse to compliment.
Yeah, make them look good.
Yeah, make your spouse look good in front of your family or your friends or whatever, because you want to reinforce, because your spouse wants to have, we all do. We want to have a good light shine on us, especially when it's people that you really value.
It's an affirmation.
Yeah, it's like, all right, this is the person that's closest to me that I'm with all the time. You don't want to hear, oh man, she don't never cook me nothing. It's like, no, I tell my wife cook all the time. She always cooking here at the house. It's like when we do go out to eat, I'm trying to give her a break, but she's always cooking at the house. She does this, she does.
I know what's in it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, But the point is, you're always making breakfast. You're always making lunch. You're always making dinner. And so, like, even when people make jokes and stuff like that about me cooking or whatever the case may be, it's like, no, I don't come into this kitchen up till Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, I don't be in this kitchen. So I give her
And
credit.
most of the time, Sunday, you just reheating leftovers.
Yeah, sometimes. Most of the time.
Most of the time.
And I sometimes trying to get out of it with going out to eat, because I don't like being in the kitchen.
Sunday is my break.
My mom,
but sometimes I'll purposely fix food Saturday night. So you have
my
because
excuse.
I sometimes don't always like going out to eat. I'm gonna be honest.
You don't.
Because it's hard for me to get food that isn't gonna make my stomach feel like crap. You know.
Yeah. I think for me, I don't, like I'm telling you, my mom cooked like you do, 24/7 around the clock. Me and my brother did not grow up in the kitchen cooking. We didn't learn. I mean, we learned a little bit, but we weren't in the kitchen cooking. My brother can cook, and I can cook a little bit.
When we first started, spaghetti was your dish.
That don't take a rocket scientist. I mean, you said
some people don't know how to cook spaghetti.
You said that like it was like, you know what?
Spaghetti.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then
the
you
way
stopped
you do
making
that,
it. Because when I started making, you stopped making it.
I don't like cooking. I'm just be honest with you. Okay. I just don't like being in the kitchen. I don't like to cook. That ain't never been just one of my. Now there are times that I might have a special thing I want to do.
Like grill.
Yeah, I'll grill all day, but I don't like cooking. I don't like.
I know.
Yeah, praise God.
And I don't like washing dishes.
Mm-hmm. So we trade, we share responsibility. So if those some tips, hopefully, in you guys' marriage will help you if you're failing in one of these areas, because I probably failed in all of them. So hopefully these are some things that you will consider and try to do. Speak well of one another.
Yeah.
I think along with the whole thing where we were talking about the complaints and how it made you feel, I think one of the things that offsets that and helps that person to know your real intentions about your heart is you actually being verbal or speaking and talking about the things you actually like.
Sometimes, like in the book Love and Respect, you have the pink goggles and the blue goggles. What a person says, and we have felt that,
how it gets
you
filtered.
would say something to me, and how I hear it in my ears is not quite what you thought was coming out of your mouth.
Yeah. So that whole thing, that filter of perspective.
Yeah, I think that's a really good book. What is that book at?
I don't know.
It's called Love and Respect. It's right back there.
You got it? Go get it. Yeah, it was a really good book. Did we ever finish that book?
No.
We probably got to arguing and didn't finish it. All right.
I took the thing off of it.
All right, so this book, Love and Respect, is by, you got a lot of notes in here. Dr. Emerson Eggerichs. Boy, we look special right now. They can't see it. There it is. Okay. Love and Respect. Good book.
Respect. Yeah.
Very good book.
It's a really, really good book. It talks about how your words, you could be saying the thing. It's really all about communication. It's a really good communication book, and I think it was, if you are interested and you have problems communicating with your spouse, I think this is a good book. What we did get out of this book, even though we didn't finish it, was, because it's all about the same different stories of this marriage counselor, basically.
Man, how long ago was it when we read this book?
Man, I bought this book when I worked at Lifeway. So we had this book for a long time.
I'm saying, I feel like we read it about 8-9 years ago, something like that.
I think we read it before we had...
Yana?
I don't know, but definitely before we had Buddy.
Yeah.
But by that time, we had a lot of time to read before we had kids. Yeah. But it's all about communication and how each person can be saying the same thing but have a completely different meaning. And so I think it was a very interesting book of how things get filtered. Even though we don't always get it right over here in terms of our filter, because I think my filtering is still
We're still
pink.
Working on it.
My filter is still pink.
That's the one thing I took away, a big takeaway from me in that book. It said, you're right at what, and y'all take this. You're right at what you're saying, but you're wrong at the tone of your voice.
Yeah.
Basically, how you said what you said, that was right. The way you deliver it matters. Like the way that you gave that thing out,
I said the right thing.
it killed it. So
your
she's not going to
attitude.
receive it just by how you said it, or how you said it to him. He's not going to receive it just because of how you presented the information. And that's super important. Just like kids, it's like we find creative ways to get the Bible to them, or whatever the thing we're trying to teach them. Like Ellie is learning, different stuff, and they make fun games and stuff out of it.
Yeah.
It's that right information, but they're presenting it in a way that makes it interesting to her, that makes her want to know more about what it is they're trying to teach her. So now she asks for the iPad. And so I think if we can communicate in a way, or find ways to communicate to our spouse that brings them into the conversation, that makes them want to be a part of the situation. And sometimes I'm learning, man, Jesus was the genius in teaching. He taught parables. I can tell you about something else in this situation, and
without actually involving you in the story at all.
Yeah, you see yourself. If you have wisdom, you'll see yourself in this situation, and you'll make the adjustment on your own, because it's like, man, I don't want to be like that.
I think a lot of times in the early part of the relationship, I would always talk in scenarios.
Yeah, and I want you to be direct.
Yeah, you like, just tell me. I'm like, I don't want to point a finger, but I'm telling you in the scenario. Like,
no, I'm like,
just come out and say it.
Yeah, just be direct with me, because I'm like, I'd rather take the blunt force trauma right now and get it over with, and I know exactly what you feel, instead of getting it wrong.
But that's your perspective. Some people don't, because that's how you give it to me, and that's not how I want it.
Right.
So you're actually giving it to me how you would want someone to do you, and I'm giving it to you how I want you to give it to me. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to just point out what I'm doing wrong. Make a scenario, kind of like what happened to David when he took that man's wife and killed him. Mm-hmm. He didn't come out and say, you were wrong, David.
To my Nathan.
Nathan didn't say, you were wrong, King David, for taking this man's wife and then having him killed. He didn't come out that way. He gave a scenario. And then he got mad about it. And then he said, hey, no. That's you.
Calm down.
That was you. You did all that.
That's you. I didn't say your name, but that was you.
So it lets you see it from a different perspective, instead of just pointing a finger and letting them know, hey, this is what you did wrong.
Yeah, I struggled with that big time in the early days, and I had to start trying to figure out, still working on it, but I had to start trying to figure out how to finesse what I was trying to say.
To you. Your thing is, I'm not saying this to offend you. And of course, when a person says that, what do you think you're already like,
I'm already offended.
I'm gonna get offended.
I don't kind of like the I ain't gonna say no nationality, no race or anything like that. I don't mean no harm. When they say that, you already ready. You already ready to go. We strapped and ready to go. I don't mean no harm.
So you basically saying whatever I'm about to say.
Or in the Southern culture, when we say bless your heart, bless their heart, you already know whatever they finna say about to go downhill. Yeah. Because they put the bless your heart in front of it. Yeah.
So I think learning, it's kind of the same thing about the love language too. The same thing, because a person who loves to get gifts are normally people who give gifts.
Yeah.
They give gifts because that's what they like. That's their love language. So we've given you guys 2 great books that you can. Is there any other suggestions that you have? I don't even know we still have the devotion book from college.
Devotions for dating couples.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
was
Some of that
really
stuff
good.
is over in studio. I don't know.
And then you had another book. I mean, I don't know.
It's a lot of books.
There's a lot of books.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
We have a lot of books around this house. Some of them over there, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of books. But anywho, today's special says, sometimes you can't see your issue if you feel so strongly that you're right.
Yeah, so no matter what nobody else says, they wrong.
Yeah. I was right when I said it.
Yeah.
I know I was right because I was there when I said it.
And that's why for me, even when we were dating, when I would try to, because remember I said, I'm the one who's always trying to keep peace. Let's keep peace. I don't want you fussing at me. I don't want to fuss at you. So I would always either not say anything about it. I would go, you know what? In my mind, I go, you know what? That's not that big of a deal. But when it came to a point where I really wanted to get a point across, I would give a scenario and be like, okay, are you understanding what I'm saying? And then hopefully you wouldn't take offense of it. And, you know what?
And then for us, it would always be opposite, because me being perceptive, it's like,
I know you trying to talk.
yeah, soon as you gave the scenario, I already know what you're trying to say.
Just come out and tell me what you want.
Now I'm offended, because I feel like you trying to almost, at that time, I'm feeling like, oh, you trying to say, oh, that's what you trying to say, type deal. So now we get into something else that, whatever. It's like
sometimes you gotta. Some of the scenarios you really did get the understanding from it, but I don't think you liked that I went that way.
Nah,
because you would be like, can you just tell me rather than I'm like, no, listen to my story here. Listen to the story.
I'm like, I got you. I don't want to hear the story. No,
I know where you're coming from. Like, no. Let me finish my story because it's in my head now. I got to get it out.
So yeah. Anyway, so anyway, hopefully our transparency and me basically taking over your channel.
That's okay.
Transparency of marriage and all this kind of stuff. It's gonna cost you something. If we see 17 years, 20 years, 10 years, all those different things. These years cost.
Yeah.
These years cost, but it's worth the price you pay.
To have a friend, a partner, a companion, which all similar terms, for life, you know. I think when you go through the storm and you do it together, that causes something like a completely different bond.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're kind of passive, like I don't care, that person is easy like thrown to the curb. But if you know you've been through a fight with this person, they're your ride or die. Every time you need help, you know, when you have that friend that they will always stick with you when you got a problem going on when you was a little kid, and they always be like, don't mess with my friend, and they were the aggressive one, and they always had your back kind of vibe. No matter how foolish and crazy they are, it's kind of like Raquel, my persona. No matter how crazy sometimes they are and they get on your nerves, they your ride or die. You're going to always be with them, and they're going to always be with you because of the things that you guys been through together. You're not going to just let something go that from the fight. Like, if you're not going to just let somebody else come in and take what is yours when you know the stuff that you went through all the years. I personally, I'm going to speak this out. I'm not going to let somebody come in and separate this because I know the fight that we had together throughout the years. I've been fighting in this relationship alongside this man and for this man to even allow somebody to come sneak in and try to divide us because we've been through the fight. It's kind of like the idea of a mom. She's went through 9 months of pain and labor to bring this child into this world. She's not going to let anybody just come in and sweep out and take her kid. You have animals fighting for their little cubs and all that kind of stuff because their child is they went through something to actually give birth to this thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing in marriage. When you go through something in your marriage, you're willing to fight like, say what? Devil is a lie. Mm-hmm. You don't know what we've been through. We went through some battles. We went through some wars. This is the person I'm going to be with. I'm going to fight for this person, and it's got that vibe on it. So when you go through these storms in your life, you go through them together. They make you stronger. They don't supposed to make you weaker. So the fights that you have, think about it in that way. That's your battle. That's going to help bond you closer together so that you have a stronger unit. It is not there to crumble you into. You can allow that to happen. You can see it that way, and then if you see it that way, is exactly what you're gonna get. But if you see it as an opportunity for your relationship to grow stronger as a unit, then you're gonna succeed, and it's gonna allow that to continue to grow because you know you can count on them. Yeah. You know.
And me, I buy what I like. The way you just looked at me like, okay. That's good. No, what I mean by that is I value what I buy and I buy what I like. Mm-hmm. I ain't one of them random shoppers that just go get something. Oh man, that look good. Let me grab that. No, It's like I think I'm a hunter by nature in terms of when it comes to when we go to go get something in town. I'm going to go, like we went to go get do a trailer hitch thing yesterday and a gas jug. I went to Home Depot to get those things.
And what did you come out with?
I came out. I'm saying, because you was there. But if I had went by myself,
you would just came.
I would have went in there and got them 2 things and been complaining about the other stuff that I didn't buy.
I know. And I told him, I said, why don't you just go ahead and buy another saw? You have a tree down. He's like, but I don't want to buy a saw.
I don't want to buy. I didn't come here for that. My mind is my point to that. My mind is on what I'm buying at that moment, and if I'm buying something, I'm buying it with the intention of using it or keeping it or whatever the intentions for me getting it, maintaining, keeping that thing. That's what I want. And so, if you know me personally, George, you already know if you're still here. If I get something, I'm gonna probably have it. You're gonna come back around, and I'm gonna still have that thing, unless the Lord says, "Hey, let that go, give it to somebody," something like that. I generally keep what I get, so I don't like wasting money or wasting time on things that I'm not gonna keep.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna purchase it. So when I looked at this marriage transaction, and I got this ring, it's like I'm not coming here and putting no ring on your finger and going through this whole ceremony to be doing something else in 2-3 years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I'm not doing that. I'm getting this with the intentions of getting every benefit that I intended out of this thing. Because I'm like, this is well, whatever, all the pros and cons that come with it. We looking for more pros and cons. Listen, but I'm saying everything. I have the intentions of like completely maximizing the potential of what it is I'm getting. I'm not looking to getting this and saying, oh well, I know I'm gonna get this in 2 more months. Like, no, this is what it is. So for me, I'm fully invested in it. So I'm not gonna just, you're not just gonna come take this. Because I put too much. He said that that good snapper. Listen, my little snapper more.
How long did you have that snapper?
I bought that lawnmower for $200, and I think I cut 1 season with it, and it quit. And I did not let that lawnmower go. Let it go. God, I can't talk. I didn't let the lawnmower go. So I fixed it after like a year and a half or something like that. Then I cut with it for like the next 3-4 years. Until we got ready to move. It didn't work when we got ready to move, but yet and still I knew how to get it going right. I think the carburetor or something was trash. It's beyond the point. The point is I still had the lawnmower. I didn't let it go. I fixed it. I knew I was going to get it fixed. I wasn't going to just throw it to the curb because I knew it was worth the investment of me getting it and the intentions of me getting it. I'm like, I'm going to make this thing work. I don't care. I don't want to buy a lawnmower right now, so I'm going to make this lawnmower work. I might have to go out there and duct tape some stuff together. It's gonna work. So it's like that mindset for me is I'm gonna make this work.
Yeah.
If it's meant to work, I'm gonna make it work. Now,
it's not gonna be said that I didn't put in the effort to make it work. So if it didn't work, it's because it wasn't supposed to work.
That's my mantra. If it didn't work, it's not gonna be because I didn't try. Yeah. That if I had to have a mantra for myself, that's probably it. If this thing does not work, it's not going to be because I didn't give every single thing I had to make it work.
Yeah.
And I think if you come into marriage or if you go throughout marriage with that mantra, you know what? If this doesn't work, it won't be because I didn't put everything I had into it. I think you're going to be all right. Clarksdale, Mississippi is in the building.
Hey, good morning. Is it still morning?
It's for us. It's
not
afternoon.
Morning anymore for us. Yeah.
It's afternoon for us.
But it's morning for her. Yeah, because it's 11 something.
Yeah, y'all still it's still morning for y'all. Good Saturday morning. Well, you've went over your hour.
I did, but it was good. Did you guys enjoy this? Did you enjoy my husband being on here with me today?
Quiet. I see crickets.
Well,
they don't want me coming back.
No. You have to wait because it's not synced up. So.
But anyway,
go ahead.
No, I was just saying to all of my folks from my channel, thank you all for coming over. I'm not gonna start naming people because I only see the folks who come in it. If you were here from my channel, drop something. Let me know you're here. I know Steven. I know Charles was here, and a couple other people were here. But if you're from my channel, let us know that you're here. I know, George, you came. Probably you saw the Facebook post. Appreciate you. Miss Carrie, thank you guys.
Yes.
So you said, yes, it's been fantastic. Enjoyed it thoroughly. But I appreciate all you guys that came over and took your time out to listen to us. I was going to send an email, but I was like, I didn't really have time to send an email.
So do you guys want him back next week? No, I'm joking.
Am I going to even be here next week?
Next week? Yeah, you're not going anywhere next week. Because we were planning on it, but then you changed
okay,
it.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's the inside thing.
Yeah.
We were planning on it. There was no information given right there. Really? You watching it from your phone?
I just clicked on it, being nosy.
Yes, you should come to Jermaine. I should come to Jermaine's channel.
Yeah, you should come to my. She gotta get up. Well, you be up.
I'm about to say I am up.
You be over here with the kids at
Yeah.
that time. That's right. She be getting them ready for school when I'm doing my.
I actually during the time that you were in Grooves and Motivation, I'm doing devotion because that's my day to do devotion with the kids.
Yeah. So she's normally doing devotion.
So
we're gonna figure something out, Stephen. I'm gonna get her over there.
But I thought y'all talk about music over there.
We do. I mean, we talk about it a good bit, but majority music, because if I go too far off the beaten path, I'll get a question that reels me back in.
To music.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so how do I play that B flat minor scale?
My channel is not necessarily. It's about life. This channel, for those who are sitting on here and you think, well, should I subscribe to this channel? This channel is about marriage. I talk about marriage regardless if he's here or not. I talk about relationships. I talk about growth. I talk about God. I may even try to lead people to Christ. I am not shy about my relationship with God on this channel, not one bit. Now, you may have a problem with that, and if you got a problem with that, that's okay. God bless you. God bless your heart. Mm-hmm. You can just step aside and keep on moving. Praise God. Hallelujah. Thank you.
In this climate, let me say this. In this climate, I think for believers, people who are believers, given everything that's going on in this world, this is not the season to be bashful. This is not the season to be bashful about who you serve, what you're about. I didn't say you got to be running around with a Jesus t-shirt on, but this ain't the season to be bashful, man. People are falling out by the droves, like nearly 600,000 people losing their lives, and I'm not going to get into this because we'll be here all day, but there's other agendas at play right now. And trust me, people are wanting to make sure that you are bashful about what you believe concerning God. Like, people will want to make sure that you shut your mouth.
They want you to stay lukewarm. Yeah.
And so I'll end with this. Dr. Tony Evans has a saying. He was like, if you were put on trial and tried for being a believer, would there be enough evidence to convict you?
What have you done to show evidence that you are a believer?
If people went to your social media or whatever the case may be, wherever you spend the most time in the face of people, and you were tried based off of that, would there be enough evidence?
According to your life, according to what you say, how you act, how you respond, would they say, oh yeah.
Yeah, would there be enough evidence to convict you? When I heard that, I was like, "Ooh, that's yeah."
I feel like sometimes I can't do or say anything without talking about God, because and I know sometimes people are turned off by that, because most people on my channel, because my channel for years has been a hair channel. That's what people know me for. They come here to watch me do my hair, and it's one thing for you to be cute, you ladies, to be cute and try to get your natural hair good to go and set on your way. But if your heart ain't right, it ain't worth nothing. And I would hate to spend almost an hour or even 6 minutes, depending on if I do a video, and you spend this time with me and you get nothing that's going to help you grow spiritually with God or even connect with God, then I haven't done my job, and that's going to be on me. And so I try to make sure that this channel, I try to make sure that my conduct and my speech is always to honor Him. I don't even want to be on here half the time. I am scared.
Truth be told.
Truth be told, I question whether or not sometimes when I get on here, should I go on today? Because I don't want to do anything that is not going to be pleasing to you. I don't want to do anything that's not going to uplift you, because I've done that stuff for years and it got me nowhere. You know, and I hate for God to, this is one thing that when I first started talking about God on my channel, or my salvation on this channel, was some years ago, because I kept taking these breaks thinking, okay, nobody wants to hear this. But it's like, it doesn't matter. What did you do with the people that yet you had their ear? What did you talk about? And then all you talked about was hair? And I didn't want to be standing before the Father and be like, no, God, all I did was talk about hair. And that was it. And this person, they died and went to hell when you had an opportunity to lead them this way and that way. And so that's my conviction. I get up here hoping that each and every time I come up here, that I honor God with everything I got. And yes, I'm going to step on people's toes, and I'm sorry. But I gotta spew out the words that He has given me. And sometimes I am sweating bullets, literally. Like, before I get on here, I'm like, God, please don't make me look like a fool. just use my lips. Don't allow anything to come out of my mouth that's from the flesh, because I don't want anybody turned away from the things that I say, you know? And so that's my thing. My thing is, me and my daughter comes up here sometimes because I want her to hear me. I want her to hear how I'm talking about God. I want that to be part of her relationship when people talk. And she has done it, like in school.
She's bold.
She is bold. She has talked in her science class, her ELA class. They were talking about Greek gods in her class. And she typed in the chat box, but there is only one true God.
Listen.
And the teacher shut down the chat box and kept on talking about Greek gods. It's like, and she's like, I said, what did she say? And she's like, she didn't say anything. She just shut down the chat box. I allow her to come up here to listen to me talk to whoever's on this other side of the screen, because I want to be in a good example. This is how we talk. I'm not throwing the Bible at you. I'm just coming in here and encouraging you with the Word of God. When I go in my devotion, the words that I get, or the information I get when I'm on my knees and I'm reading my devotion, I'm reading my Bible, the things that click in my mind, and then the Lord is like, that's something you can share, because I got some great revelation out of it. I come on here and give you guys the revelation I get. And that's how I do every live. I try to anyway. Do every live. And maybe I may do one of the kiddos' hair while I'm talking to you about whatever it is that God has given me to talk about. You know, so that's all I can do.
Yep. And let your light shine before men, that they might see your good works and glorify the Father which is in heaven. Listen, I've had a lot of fun talking to y'all. I have.
You got to go back and finish.
I got to finish my yard.
The yard.
I got to finish my yard.
It's a lot of yard.
It's a lot of yard to finish, but I got to go and do it.
Yeah.
It ain't going to get done by
Well,
itself.
we going to eat first, right?
Yeah, I'm about to eat. My stomach growling.
Yeah, mine too.
Praise God. I hope y'all didn't hear that through the live. It's definitely growling over here. Yeah, I'm talking about.
I don't even hear
While
it,
you
so.
talking, it's having this whole little conversation. Amen. Yeah, we definitely go over here growling.
Okay.
But listen, we've enjoyed being on here talking to you guys about marriage. Hopefully, something that we've said has helped you married couples to strengthen your marriage, to grow, and to push forward with, having a godly marriage and just, loving one another even more. And, yes, it's at what's for lunch.
I don't even know. Since it's just me and him, I don't know. Normally I have to feed the whole crew. It might be leftovers.
The leftover ministry.
The leftovers. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know. We might not. I don't think it's been much cooking in here these last couple days. So yeah, it could be the good leftover ministry.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'm eating something, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat something. But yeah, again, hopefully y'all have been blessed by this. I'm gonna get out y'all way.
Yes, it's almost 1 o'clock.
I gotta go.
It's hot out there right now.
It's hot out there right now, and I gotta get it.
It's hot.
I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I gotta get finished.
All right, I appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and those who are tuning in to the replay. I hope you are blessed by this. If you've gotten this far and you enjoy what you've heard, please subscribe to our channel. If not, I'll see you on the next live. Bye. We love you.
See y'all on Tuesday.